7th, 2022. I have a relative that was actually close to me, the only one that I was really close with as a child, who's passed away of some really horrific circumstances. She had her last vehicle was this really weird shade of like orange. It was called a Ford Edge. I'd never heard of it before. She was a wonderful person, probably one of the only humans that ever really treated me like, I mean, I've had humans treat me nice when I was little. As a teenager, it's like, I don't know what happened. And as an adult, again, no idea. So she died. They're now posting it all over the news or something going on with the U.S. Marshals. I don't know what that was about. Don't know what the car's about. But I did notice on GMA3 they had this lunch lady tribute about like quiet superheroes that work inside the school system that serve the children of tomorrow their lunch, their nutrition, their substance in order to get them through their learning phase or whatever. I mean, here the actual intent and the actual process doesn't really work like it does in like what's called Valhalla or like heaven space. Like if heaven is like the epitome of a utopian perfect world, and then there's hell is this dystopian that I've had to traverse in New York in like a purgatus way. Like each cursed day that you get up in this kind of situation where there's been no adequate planning, there's no way out designed into your life frame, and you're just beaten every day further into some painful position of nothingness and no way to like strive or thrive. But they show you pictures of people who have. That's really how they designed this dystopia. It's really part of the disgusting disease I call humanity. But the lady that died doing some minimal work, feeding the children, who died of a horrible, painful, early. She was early, she died. They literally took her breath away. She was gasping for every last breath, just holding on. It was horrible. But it's what this level of human has created. But now after the fact that she's dead, somebody's going to pay tribute or homage of some sort since they ignored her and my situation in New York the entire time while frolicking around in their cruises and vacation clubs and investigative reporting by giving the assignments to all the wrong things and growing the world more dangerously. So now somebody has to, probably by court order, do something nice. And so they're putting together they put together some kind of lunch lady themed superhero book, like what do you think she does on her off hours, kind of a thing, to make light of a really disgusting situation that already happened that's just growing worse.
And we're back now with the hero in an apron instead of a cape that tributes to the nation's cafeteria workers and other heroes.
I really don't see people doing nice things unless there's a court order involved or like, for lack of a better term, I mean like some kind of forced operation. They usually don't just become nice overnight because they want to be. I haven't seen it happen. I mean, like, on an individual basis, I've seen stories of charity, but then I sit there and at some points I'm frightened because it's like, no, I mean, that was a good person that could have been planned for properly, but instead they put them in, that good person, in a dangerous situation. So they became charitable, but gave everything that needed to be put somewhere, they diverted it somewhere else. I mean, it's all schemes and schematics in New York. It's disgusting.
Serving up sustenance to our kids day after day. Take a look.
All looks bleak for these innocent bank patrons. But wait, who is that mystery hero donning yellow rubber gloves? Hi-ya! Why, it's the hero of our story, Lunch Lady.
When my first book was published, it was 2001, and I went back to my old elementary school and looked across the room, and there she was. It was Jeannie, and there she was. It was Betty, the beloved lunch ladies of my youth. And so I struck up a conversation with them, and I thought, well, I didn't know you had a life outside of the lunchroom.
What do you suppose she does? You know, when she's not a lunch lady.
You know, Hector, I've never really thought about it before.
So, the series is taking off, and I got word that Jeannie had passed away.
Now, Hector, is that an imperial size real estate plot that they're trying to vector in some different form of measuring mechanics? And they're tying into some lunch lady story? I'm just curious, because when I see the face of what shows up as Hector, it's no longer my next door neighbor. It's now some other whatever that's painted themselves in these letters and these sounds.
Widow, that thank you so much. You validated her life's work, and she never got the recognition that she deserved. I just knew I had to do something. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be a really cool thing to just do something on her birthday where kids could just do something nice? And that first year, we were just relying on social media, trying to encourage educators, classroom teachers to do something. And it's just grown exponentially since then.
I like to dance when I hand out breakfast in the morning.
This is just like Judy was.
I've developed real relationships.
And she was one of the Zen Garden children, the Zen Garden City children. Now, I don't think Garden City has pumped out a Zen-type child since the actual Zen in Garden City arrived by the same foxhole into this hellhole they call New York.
Relationships with these kids, and I can't help but love them. When the pandemic hit, we were very short-staffed. And I found myself really for the first time consistently in a situation where I was face-to-face with students and parents handing out meals. School Lunch Hero Day means so much to me because I see how hard my staff works. I think it's really important to recognize support staff like the lunch ladies and the lunchmen and the custodians and the school receptionist and like even your bus driver or the person who is your crossing guard.
Anything that we can do to shine the light on the fact that what people do in keeping our school cafeterias running is integral to our educational system.
Our thanks to Penguin Random House Audio. You can pick up a copy of Lunch Lady graphic novels and the full cast audiobooks, which are all out now.
And up next right here.
I will say Ronkonkoma, which was Connecticut, not Sachem, because I wasn't in the Sachem School District, but I was in Connecticut. They did, at Helen B. Duffield, they did such an amazing job receiving Benjamin from Virginia when we first moved back. They also had Connecticut Library, which was amazing in the sense that it was not just the library. They were very welcoming. It felt familial. It did not feel like it was filled with sour landscape from elsewhere. It felt like a snug as a bug in a rug fit, to receive the children after leaving like heavenly space in Virginia that we were in that I didn't want to leave, and receiving Alexander into this new community, and the church, which was St. John's Nepa something or other, started with, like, it reminds me of Neptune, but NEP, whatever that was. And I don't know what denomination it was, doesn't matter. It was something Christian. They had a play group once a week. I could take him to, I think Daniel as well, when I first got there. And then I offset that with the library that had functions that I could take them to, which was really great. But again, had that freedom, but I was tethered to the problem at home with fearing for whatever. So once that was gone, then all of everything got put on me. Otherwise, I would have lost the house and like whatnot in order to find work, which was then even further difficult. But whatever. I wound up losing it in the end anyway. Because that's just how this disgusting integrity, it like works at such a minuscule level, but like what's really needed in integration is still being withheld. I mean, come on. Nobody could find me a job where they could pay me or give me larger listings or somehow integrate me with the court system and the U.S. Marshal system or federal system where they're like confiscating whatever's going on Long Island and feed me listings so I could support my kids so I don't have to work quite as much. I mean, come on, really? It's so ridiculous. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.